Namaste, and let's go up, 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 and away to space. Let me tell you what's happening in the space frontier this week. First of all, huge congratulations once again to ISRO. India's space agency is absolutely charting new paths, and the latest is a successful test of the Gaganyaan crew abort system. So that is very important to save human lives because space exploration is not easy and it's full of risks. So manned flights, of course, are the next step for ISRO to claim a stake in the space race. All right. So the crew abort system is basically the little capsule at the top of the rocket which separates and parachutes down into the water safely in case, and there's always high probability of rocket failure during launch. In case that happens, the crew abort system will safely take the crew away from the exploding vehicle or malfunctioning vehicle, as the case may be, and save lives. So, looking forward to Gaganyaan in a couple of years, I guess there is quite a lot of work to be done and lots of testing to be done. But thankfully, all the tests that have been done previously have also gone as planned. And fingers crossed, Gaganyatris will be the new thing in space after US, Russia, and China. Coming to China, China launched a new three-man crew to the Tiangong space station. And let me just confirm, yes, it was the Long March 2F rocket that lifted off from the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in the Gobi Desert. All right. So the Shenzhou 17 spacecraft and three-person crew will dock with the Tiangong station. So the ISS, the International Space Station, is due to retire in the 2030s, in the late 2020s and early 2030s, if its mission parameters are extended. And that is why it's going to be essential for not just US or Russia, but other countries like India to get functioning space laboratories in orbit. And of course, and I'm talking about ISRO here, we are a long way off from that, but small steps, like Neil Armstrong said, it is a small step for man, a giant leap for mankind. And that is the kind of mentality we need to have for space exploration. Ad astra is the Latin term which says to the stars. The full phrase is ad astra per aspera, to the stars, overcoming difficulties. And that is what space exploration is all about. Coming to the next piece of news, which is kind of interesting, NASA could not open the asteroid capsule, which has the sample of the asteroid that Osiris Rex impacted. And that's because two of the lug nuts or the fasteners on the taxam head could not be opened by the tools that they had. So that's a bit of a snafu or a faux pas, as you might say. But I'm sure they will work around, pretty soon and get to it. Coming up is a partial lunar eclipse of the full hunter's moon. So, sky watchers, you might have a good treat lined up. For us here in urban agglomerates, the night sky has, very few uh, wonders left to show us because we are all clouded over and fogged over and smoked over all the time. But doesn't matter because we will be going to the moon in Artemis 2, and to get to the moon and establish a human presence there with Wi-Fi, because what's life without Wi-Fi, am I right? NASA tested the first two-way laser communication relay launch, and that was a good step towards fast, high-speed communications with our extraterrestrial bases. Finally, not finally though, one of the major things was that SpaceX was told that your Starlink satellites will become a huge, in fact, 85% of the entire risk to people on the ground and flights in the atmosphere. because the Starlink satellites are starting to crowd the low Earth orbit, and that is why it's going to be important for SpaceX to manage the end of life cycle of the satellites very importantly and very proactively. And of course, there's the hunt for exoplanets that is going on. I will give you a brief recap about the Mars as well. So, the International Space Station was suffering a bit of a leak in one of the radiators in the Russian Nauka science module. Nauka in the Sanskrit or Hindi means boat. So, I wonder if there's a bit of a language overlap between Russian and ancient Indian or Sanskrit if you want to be technical about it. But the Mars news is that the Ingenuity helicopter made the longest flight in 1.5 years, and it conducted its 63rd flight and covered 1,900 feet or 579 meters. So Ingenuity continues to break new ground and fly where no other object has flown before, quite literally. And that brings me to SpaceX fueling up the Starship in the key test ahead of the second flight. So the first flight was, of course, Fireball, but let's see what the second flight brings us. Fireball reminds me about a documentary about meteorites by Werner Herzog, and it's absolutely brilliant. I have made a review about that. I think, yeah, I will leave the link to the video in the description at the top, so that if you're interested in astronomy, space exploration, and the heavens above, then you can check out my review of that uh, documentary as well. Sleek electric cars will be used for the Artemis 2 missions, the Artemis program, and they are developed by Canoe Technologies. While Curiosity rover has found evidence that Mars once had conditions for life. So don't get too excited. It's not that Mars had life, it's just that it had a sort of an ancient lake bed or remnants of rivers, right? Okay, so with that, I bring this quick space news recap to an end. And thank you so much for watching. Do check out my other space videos. The playlist is linked in this I here, so just tap or click on it and you will be in for a treat. I assure you that I do mean business when it comes to space exploration, because I have high hopes, like Pink Floyd said, that my daughter will ideally become a Gaganyatri, an Indian astronaut, or at the very least contribute to making humanity live better, because space technology has resulted in a lot of improvements and a lot of practical technologies that are making lives easier for not just our generation but the coming generations as well. So on that hopeful note, looking forward to seeing you in my other space exploration videos. If you want a dose of awesomax fun, smash that sub button and check out my other comedy and sports highlights and movie reviews, show reviews, Star Warriors, Marvelers, unite, and let's make this world a better place. Be kind to one another. Namaste once again. I'm Akshat. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.